My name's Sarah Duffy and I'm a writer, script editor. That's about it really, I suppose. Yeah. The first degree I did out of high school was a sports science degree, and I did a week of that, and then I realised, what was I doing? And my parents said, right, if you're going to defer or quit uni, you need to get a job. So that was 1992, and went down to the CES when they had the jobs on the boards, on the bits of paper, and there was a sign saying King's Cross Junior Receptionist Film Studio. I was like, oh, right. And I had really enjoyed English, and I enjoyed writing stories, and I had written a few scripts, but I didn't know that that's what I was supposed to do. So I went to this job interview thinking this will be funny. Girl from Campbelltown going to King's Cross, catching the train in, and it was Kennedy Miller right in town in King's Cross, and I got interviewed by George Miller. No idea who he was, and all this amazing office space. And then I worked there for a year while they were doing pre-production for Babe. And people were really lovely to me, and they kind of nurtured me and said, you know, maybe you should go back to uni. And I applied for Charles Sturt communications degree, and one of the writers there helped me write an application, and that's when I did media production at Charles Sturt for 3 years, which really was just drinking for 3 years. And maybe making short films when you weren't drunk. I kind of wandered around the production office of the Babe area and met all these amazing people, and I was only just 18 and was really inspired by the director Chris Noonan, and he had adapted this book, and I remember that book I said to him, I remember that from primary school. Our librarian read it to us. And I used to chat to him. I think I was the annoying office girl who just used to chat to everybody and photocopy the story. My job was just basically photocopy storyboard books, which were like that thick. So I just would be at the photocopier absorbing these amazing storyboards and the script. I knew the script back to front, so I'm sure in some way I absorbed that and thought, this is what I'm supposed to do, because I really, really loved it. But the aha moment, I suppose, came a third year at uni. So part of a media presentation degree, because there's several strands in the degree, was to make a major work, and I made a short film, and it just came together, and I really enjoyed it. It was a kind of comedy short film, and we had to present it to our year at the Ponton Theatre, which is a crappy little theatre at the uni, and to the lecturers, and get up and talk about why, and suddenly I could articulate why I was telling this story, which is, you know, what's the point of this story? And it went really well, and the lecturer there kind of said to me, you know, you should pursue this, and someone telling you should pursue it is really great. After uni, I got an internship at a place called O10, which makes educational videos, and that was my first, I'd say, writing job. I was producing educational videos for TAFE, and within those we had to write scripts, like drama scripts. Like one of them was marketing, and we'd have to do little dramas on marketing, like an advertising place, and that was my first writing. So I learned how to write there, and also how to produce. And then, as always, you get jobs through word of mouth, and someone rang me. My best friend from uni was working on Water Rats, and she said, there's a job going at Murdercore as a script coordinator. And of course the ego got the better of me. I was like, get out of TAFE television. Like, it was a really good job, and I regret leaving so soon, and rang this woman at Murdercore and got the job as script coordinator. And that's when that's your entry level script coordinator, is like photocopying, yeah, lots of other stuff, but it's like admin. But you learn heaps. No, but I did think that I should have been. At one point, I worked on another show called All Saints and started as a script coordinator, and did think, I'm so much better than this, I need to be a script editor straight away. And I wasn't ready, but I pushed and pushed, and I was a trainee editor, and then went straight to script editor, and I was not ready for it at all, and then got fired, which was fun, because I thought, oh yeah, I can do this, you know. But I suppose that's my version of an overnight success, because you think, I can, you know, this is just easy, but it's not easy, it's quite hard. Most people say, oh, do you write for one character? Which is always, I just find bizarre. It's like, no, you write a whole script. How could you write for one character? And they do expect you to be super rich, and then they find out that you live in Parramatta, and they're like, what? and they don't know that it's hard work. It is constant rewriting, and it's not just type it, it's on the page, it goes straight to the screen. It's constant writing by committee, you know, so you write, someone else has something to say, the network has something to say, all that kind of stuff. So it's just a job. It's like you do your apprenticeship, you get in and you learn your trade and you work your guts out, and you have to be prepared to stick at one job for a while and not get ahead of yourself and go, and you need to learn and listen. But it's really hard work. Measure of success would be to have your own show, to have created and produced your own show. So I probably think writing, producing would be a measure of success, which I think Australian television is moving towards, that writers are now becoming more involved in producing. Feature film, if you've made a feature film and it's got up, wow, amazing. And not just amazing because you wrote it, but amazing that you had the persistence and energy to get it made, like to keep, you know, throwing your energy behind it just for someone to put it on screen. I think that's half the battle. As a writer, I think most writers I know are complete lunatics and are always second guessing. You know when you're writing well, but it's if you're working in Australian television, it is other people's stories usually. So you're interpreting what someone else wants. If it's your stuff, it's fine. You're responsible for it. So in that sense, you have to learn so many things. It's not just about writing. It's about interpreting someone's work. It's about being logical in stories. It's about knowing the tone of a show. There's so much you learn, and I think I still think I'm learning, and I've been doing it for, 12, 13 years. So you constantly, but you get confident. But I think the key I would say to anyone who wants to work in Australian television, which is really competitive and sometimes a little bit ugly, try and get on a show and work on it for at least a year and stay at one level and work your guts out, and then that you can take confidence from that hard work and see it as an apprenticeship. I wish someone had told me that, because I was racing to get to the point where I could freelance and be a freelance writer and jump around from shows to shows, and eventually I did get there, but I think I needed to slow down a bit first. And that, I think the sooner you learn that, the better you are. You have to get over yourself and the romance of the job and go, it's a job. And if you really are really aspirational and have big dreams and you have amazing stories that you want to tell for you and are really passionate about it, great. But if you really, really want to write, you write. Like if you're true into it, and you may not even be a great writer, but the more you write, the better you'll get. You just have to understand that you need to have a point. You can't just sit there and blah, 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 blah. If you have a point and you put that point across, someone will see it and hear it and understand your story, which is exciting, I think.